Today we are going to draw and paint a whimsical frog. If you decide that you do not want to paint your frog or do not have access to paint, you can finish this off with any drawing material instead, like crayons, markers, oil pastels, or colored pencils. To begin with, we are going to use a permanent marker to draw our frog. If you feel like you would like to draw this first in pencil and go over your lines in marker, you can, or you can go right into marker if you feel like you are brave and ready to take this on. Our whimsical frog is going to start with its eyes. Its eyes are two circular shapes. So we're going to put the eyes right here. And our frog has droopy eyelids, like that. Next, we're going to work on the frog's body. So the body is pretty much a circular shape. It's going to go down on either side. We're going to divide this body with a curved line. And that's going to be the part that will turn into our frog's mouth. Next, we want to give our frog some legs on the side, and those are going to be round and round. The feet are also round and round, and we can add some indents for toes. The front feet are going to go to be very round circles in the front. And then a second one. And if we want, we can give our frog a bit of an open mouth . And that is our frog. Now, if we would like our frog to have a few spots, we could draw some spots on his legs and on his head. So this is our whimsical frog. Next up, we're going to be adding some paint. But before that, if we would like our frog to be sitting on a lily pad, we can add that as well. So I'm going to add a bit of a curve shape, and that will be the lily pad that our frog is sitting on. Now for painting materials. First thing I have is a paper plate. This is going to be my palette that I use for mixing my custom colors. I will also need a paintbrush and perhaps a second paintbrush that's a wider flat brush. To get my paint out of the jars, I'm going to be using some wooden sticks. The colors I need for my frog are going to be blue and yellow. These will combine to make different shades of green. I'm also going to need white because white will combine with the blue to make lighter blue shades for our background. And then black and red. So I have 5 colors of paint, and I'm going to have 5 sticks, 1 for each color. So this way my paint does not get contaminated and I can just put it onto my paper plate palette. I also have a paper towel that I've been using for painting projects, and this is always helpful to have on hand to wipe our brush. Another important material that we need is a cup with water in it, so we will have that as well. And it's time to start mixing our colors. I'm going to start with our background color, which is going to be shades of light blue and dark blue, and then our lily pad and frog. So as I'm going, I'm not going to really stop to explain the colors too much, and if you want to use paint, you can paint, or you can do markers, crayons, or whatever other materials you have to add color to your frog. This is going to be combined to make my background color, or the majority of my background color, and I'm using my larger brush because it's a larger area. While the blue paint is drying, I'm going to clean my paintbrush. To clean my paintbrush, I'm going to start by wiping off any excess paint on my handy paper towel. Next, I'm going to rinse the brush into the water. Wipe it on the paper towel again, and repeat this until I have a clean brush. The next thing we're going to paint is the lily pad. So what I can do is use some of the leftover blue that I had from the background water area, and I can add some yellow on top of that until I can get a shade of green that I like. I'm going to switch to a smaller flat brush. Alright, I really do like this shade of green, but I feel like I would like it to be more of a pastel green for the frog's belly area. So I'm going to add some white to this existing green, and I'm not going to wash my brush yet because I'm going to be using this to mix in with the white and create that color that I'm looking for. So I just realized I accidentally grabbed a different brush, but that's okay. I'm going to use the same light color to fill in where the spots are. And now I am going to clean my brushes. Okay, so I want to make a darker shade of green, and that's not a shade that I've done yet, so I'm going to use a clean part of my palette to do that. I'm actually going to move this out of the way so that it's easier for you to see me mix those colors. And I'm going to start with my lighter color, which is the yellow. And this time I'm going to put just a little touch of black into the yellow. And this has worked with other brands of paint before, so hopefully it does now, but it should create a darker green. There we go. So we've got more of a camouflage or olive green color. And this is going to be the color for the rest of our frog. And now we're going to work on some finishing details. Now I did lose a lot of my marker lines, so I can go back if I have a steady enough hand, and I can bring back some of those lines using the paint. And this does require a very steady hand though. There's one more really fun trick I'd like to show you, and this involves using the end of your paintbrush. Using the end of your paintbrush, you can now add a highlight to the eye by dipping the end into the white paint and then very carefully adding a little white dot to each eye. And that is how you create a painted whimsical frog.